Hi everybody, happy Friday. Welcome to this week's video. Super excited to share the topic for today because I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to resonate with this idea of creating a meal planning system that actually works for you. I've just heard a lot about people feeling really anxious and really overwhelmed and just that they flat out hate meal planning, but it's kind of like this necessary evil in their lives because they know that if they want to get healthier meals on the table, they need to plan ahead and they need to be prepared. So I'm really excited to share with you my approach that has helped me and has also helped my clients in the past to be more proactive and also more successful in creating plans that they actually follow through on. So we're going to dive right in, but if this is the first time that you're seeing me or these videos, welcome. My name's Danielle Dinkelman. I'm a national board certified health and wellness coach, and I'm a plant-based nutrition educator. Now, these videos happen every single week inside our free private Facebook group called Journey to Healthy Living. So if you're not inside that group yet, I invite you to find us and join us there for these weekly videos, as well as lively discussions that happen in there on upgrading your nutrition, prioritizing self-care, and taking charge of your habits to really get this health journey going for you. So that's a little bit about me and these videos, and I hope you'll come and find us over there on Facebook. So why meal planning? Why is that the topic for today? Like I said, I think all of us kind of recognize that if we fail to plan, we plan to fail when we're really trying to upgrade the meals that we're putting on the table, right? So for today, I'm really going to focus on the meal planning for dinners. That seems to be the main thing that people get hung up on. So we're going to focus on that today, and there will be follow-up videos. And if you, as you're watching this video, have follow-up questions for me of, well, what about this, Danielle, or what about this? I would love for you to drop those in the comments, and I will create upcoming videos that address those things because this could blow up into a whole series. So let me know what other questions you have as we go along. So the idea here is that I just want to help you create a system that's going to increase your follow-through on your plan, right? How many times have you made a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Just really ambitious meal plan full of new recipes that you know are way healthier than what you've ever made before, and you make this plan and then you maybe follow through on this much of it. That is what I want to help you avoid, and we're going to create something that's really going to work for you, all right? So if you're tired of fighting the anxiety and the overwhelm, this video is for you. So I actually have created a meal planning guide, and I have this in PDF form. I'd be happy to send it to you, and it is basically a workbook that's going to walk you through the steps that I'm going to talk about today. So again, if you're interested in that, just drop your name and your email in the comments, and I will send this to you. And I will also send you the template that I use week after week. I've created this myself just because it kind of fits for what I like to do. So I can send you that too for just helping you create your weekly menu. So let me know if you would like those. But let's just dive in. I've got 4 steps for you today. Okay, so we're gonna create a system. If we can systematize meal planning for you, it makes it easier. It decreases the amount of stress and energy that goes into this, and it's something that you can rinse and repeat and not have to spend more than 20 minutes a week on this. I promise. Once you really find your groove, you can meal plan for your whole week, 15 to 20 minutes. All right, so that's the goal here. So if that sounds good, let's get going. So step 1, and all of these steps came from me doing the opposite for a really long time. So step 1 I have found is to consult your calendar, okay? Consult your real life, and you're gonna sit down and really think, how much time and energy do you have each day to put into putting dinner on the table? So for me, I'm talking about the time leading up to when I want to have food on the table ready to eat. And that's a little different every day of the week for me. Some nights I have literally no time. I am walking in the door and I need food ready in a snap because it's already 6 o'clock. We're just getting back from my daughter's singing class or whatever. And I just need food ready to go. So I plan accordingly for those days. So you go through your week and you kind of map out what does each week feel like for you, all right? So that's the first step. we know that like putting dinner on the table and these goals that we have for improving the food that we're eating, it doesn't happen in a vacuum, okay? These goals happen in real life, so we need to create realistic plans, okay? So the first step is really getting real about how much time do you have to put into these. So, and that's gonna inform the recipes that you're gonna choose, right? So that is crucial. Do not ignore or think that you just need to muscle through this. You gotta be realistic about how much time you have. So once you kind of chart that out, and again, in this worksheet that I can send to you, it's right there. You can fill it out. Step 2 is to create a formula for your week. Now, before I went plant-based, I would plan my meals around which meat was the center of attention of that meal, right? So I would alternate. I would go like, well, Monday's gonna be pasta night, and Tuesday's gonna be chicken, and Wednesday's gonna be some sort of beef, and so I would just like kind of create the variety there. So now the way I create variety and the formula that I suggest that people create is what types of meals, what categories of meals could you just plug in and do week after week after week, so that you don't have to sit down to a blank page and think, what am I gonna make this week? What are the recipes that my family likes? All of this stuff. So the first thing to do is create those categories. So for me, those categories are: Monday is soup night. Tuesday is some sort of Mexican or Latin dish. Wednesday is leftovers. Wednesday is my busiest day. I need something that I can just warm up. Thursday is Asian. We make some sort of curry or some sort of stir fry or something. Friday is usually something pasta based. And Saturday is breakfast for dinner. And then Sunday is usually when I spend a little bit more time, and it's usually something that's based around potatoes of some sort, or I do a lentil loaf, something a little more involved, okay? So do you see how once you kind of create that formula, you can start just plugging things in, okay? So if you haven't tried this before, I encourage you to give it some thought. It's fun if you have kids because it kind of gives them something that they can look forward to. Like my kids, they know that Tuesday is always Taco Tuesday. There's always going to be some sort of Mexican thing in a tortilla, and they love it. And it makes it easier for me because I don't have to reinvent the wheel week after week. So the next question that you're thinking is, well, Danielle, if I'm doing the same thing week after week, how do I create variety with that? Glad you asked. It's actually really simple. It's as easy as having a go-to recipe list to plug into your formula week after week. So eventually the goal would be for you to have a list of all of the meals that are keepers, right? That your family loves, that fits the nutrition profile that you're working toward for your family, and they're easy enough to prepare with the time that you have, all of those things. So the goal, I'm trying to find my list here. Where'd you go? The goal is to have maybe at least a week or two, but even up to 3 or 4 weeks that you have to fill this calendar in. Like, this is backwards, I'm sure, but you can see I've got week 1, 2, 3, and 4, and here's my Monday: chickpea noodle soup, vegetable barley soup, minestrone, and a lentil black bean soup. So that's Monday is my soup day, but I've got 4 different soups that I know my family loves that I can plug into that. So every 4 weeks, we're rotating, okay? We're not making the exact same thing week after week, ideally, when I'm not lazy. But that makes it so easy. You could literally eventually get to the point that you could create a 4-week meal plan and just put it on autopilot and not even ever sit down and meal plan again, if that's what you want. So that's the goal. Now, I could do a whole other video on how to start with the go-to recipes that you have right now that maybe are or are not in line with your nutrition goals right now, but how we could start with that and start shifting and moving those into more of where you want to be with nutrition. That's going to be another video for another day. But start with what you know your family loves. Write all your go-to recipes down. chances are there's about 9 to 12 recipes that you're just rotating through naturally because you know how to make them, you usually have the ingredients on hand, and you know that your family likes them. Great, start with that and put it on paper, okay? So that is step 3. Now, as you start trying new recipes, you literally want to have a list of your go-to recipes. This is my chicken scratch list that I keep, and I keep it in a binder. And I add to this list. Actually, it's here, and I've got all the different categories here. And I add to this list whenever I try a new recipe, and I literally ask my family, like, is this a keeper or no? Like, would you eat this again? And if the majority enjoyed it, or even if just me and my husband enjoyed it, I'm making it again. And I'll tell the kids, this is going in the rotation, so you might as well get used to it. That's another video for another day too, right? Helping the picky eaters get used to the new stuff you're making. So, create your go-to list, and we can dive into that more of how to really grow that list for you. But then step 4 is to sit down, and you're gonna make your grocery list connected with your meal plan, okay? It doesn't make any sense to do those things separately. And another thing that you have to do is you gotta sit down with your calendar for the week, sit down with your go-to recipe list, and be in your kitchen, okay? Be where you can open the fridge, open the pantry, and say, okay, if I wanna make minestrone on Monday, I need to make sure I have this, this, and this. And you go check and make sure you have those things. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to the store, gotten all my grocery shopping done, and I get back and I have this meal plan, but I didn't meal plan with my grocery list and with checking the ingredients that are in my house. And here I am, I don't have the ingredient I need, and I already went to the store. Okay, that's the most frustrating thing, and it's really exhausting. So you can save yourself from that pitfall by doing those things. Sitting down, calendar, grocery list, meal plan, open up the pantry, okay? See what you've got in the house to work with, okay? So, do you see how you can do this? Like, you can create a system that works for you, and you've just got to vet all of the recipes that you're trying against how it's going to fit into your schedule. Like, if you really only have 30 minutes to prepare dinner on Tuesday, don't make that a new recipe night, okay? Let's talk about that for a minute. I like to try maybe 1, maybe 2 new recipes at most in a week. For me, that's just the time and energy level that I have. You might have more, you might have less, but don't feel like you need to try a new recipe every single night. That is not what meal planning is, okay? Meal planning is plugging in the go-to meals that you know that you'll like and maybe peppering in a new meal or 2. Another thing, give yourself permission, especially you busy moms, or if you are busy, like, give yourself permission to just eat leftovers once or twice a week. It is okay. I plan on that, and so I double things. If I know I need leftovers from Monday, I make a huge batch of soup. So really bringing this into a realistic perspective is going to be huge. So I hope that's helpful. So there's your 4 steps. Number 1, consult your calendar. Be realistic about how much time you have each night. Number 2, create a recipe formula that you can just plug it in, okay? I promise it's a little more structured, but I promise it will make this easier for you. Step 3, create, populate, or write down that go-to recipe list, and then you break those into those categories that are gonna fit into your formula that you created for your week. And then number 4, make sure that your grocery list planning goes hand in hand with your meal planning and that you're consulting your pantry of what you have on hand. Okay, it's as simple as that. I know that might be no-brainer for some of you, but I know for me, as I figured that out, it was life-changing. And now the meal plans that I make are ones that I can depend on. It's not like I'm looking at the meal plan saying, yeah, that's not happening today. No, most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, I follow through on my plan. So I'm hoping this will help you. Let me know what you think. And again, if you haven't joined us in the Facebook group yet, I would love to see you over there and get some discussions going on what you're struggling with, what you're thinking about, what you're frustrated with. And I would love to create future videos that address those things that you're looking for more help and support on. So have an awesome day, and we'll talk soon.